Thomas Foley and Sir Edward Scott, who was not a party to the action, were owners of collieries in Staffordshire. They had jointly opened an account with the defendants Bank Hill & Co. In April 1829, £6,117 was transferred from that joint account to a separate account in the sole name of Foley. The bank sent a letter enclosing the receipt and agreeing to pay 3% interest on the sum. From 1829 until 1834, when the joint account was closed, Foley's share of the profits of the collieries was paid by checks drawn on the joint account by the agents managing the collieries. These checks were paid in cash or by bills drawn by them on their London bankers in favor of Foley, and none of them was paid into his separate account. The only amount ever credited to that account was the initial £6,117 together with interest calculated by the bank up to the 25th of December 1831. Foley filed a bill in equity in January 1838 against the banking, claiming that an account should be taken of not only the initial deposit but also all other sums received by the bank for Foley on his private account since April 1829, with interest on the same at the rate of 3% per annum, and also an account of all sums properly paid by them for or to the use of Foley on his said account since that day. The defendant banks pleaded a defense based upon the statute of limitations.
This case is related to the relationship that happens between a bank and a customer. Thus, based on this case, it is the debtor and creditor relationship. The scenario can be illustrated when customer A borrows money from the bank. Then, customer B, who deposits his or her money on the same bank, will become a creditor and the bank will become the debtor. Banks will use the money to provide services to their customers such as loans. Banks own the money once it is deposited by the customer to the bank, but the bank is obliged to return the same amount of money when requested by the customer. This relationship is regarded as any money deposited by the customer with the banker and as regards any money lent to the customer by the banker.
The obligation to preserve the account between them and the plaintiff. So the right of the banker to keep the account in any particular form according to the agreement made by the plaintiff when the account or joint account in this case was opened. The bank has the right of charge the interest that is computed on the balance of the principal money after the last payment is made. If the balance remain unchanged, the subsequent interest will be simple computation anytime it was required, whenever it might necessary to make for any purpose. The player of the statute outstate that it was a banking duty to enter interest regularly the credit of the plaintiff account. The defendant being in the case under express engagement to allow 3% on the balance from time to time on the plaintiff private account, £1,117 and 10 cents pound on the credit side account, which are £1,700 and £2,000 on the debt side. We included the 3% of the interest. As a result, the bill should be rejected with the mention.
For the case, I would like to simplify and what can we learn about this case. According to the case between Foley against Hill, at the end of the case, the court was held that there was no equitable relationship. The defense based on limitation period was successful. The decision has been used numerous times since then and has never been seriously challenged. Despite the fact that previous cases had also implemented the principle that the relationship between the banker and the customer was one of the debtor and creditor. Based on the case, what can we learn is the banker has the right to use money with it as it wishes, such as giving loans. This is because money, when paid into a bank, ceases altogether to be the money of the principal, which is the customer. It is the money of the bank who is bound to return as equivalent by paying a similar sum that deposited with him when he or she is asked for it by filling in the withdrawal form. That's all from us for the explanation about the case Foley against Hill. Thank you for watching our video.